Greetings survivors and friends, SHADOWFRAX here with what I think is safe to say a pretty damn game-changing update to Rust. Not only is it the first one of the month and therefore a forced wipe, but there were a couple of major surprise changes that are really going to give some players a leg up. And I want to know what you think to them, so please do leave me a comment, either positive or not so positive, but whatever you do, don't shoot me! I'm just the messenger. The first bolt from the blue, and one that will significantly impact both raiding and base design, is that any twig tier building blocks, and indeed ladders, can now be placed within a cupboard's radius without being authorised on it. This obviously opens the floodgates once more to raid towers and retrieving loot from dead roof campers, bonus, but it also means that base design is going to have to involve a splash more of your creative juices from now on. Now, if you were around in the good old days of ladder raiding, then you'll likely remember seeing pagodas as far as the eye could see. However, now ladder placement is even more forgiving, so those skirts ain't gonna save ya. They can also be climbed from both sides and traversed around in order to switch sides. There's more to the story though, as the decay on twig was increased sixfold, meaning that it will be gone within just 2 hours. Moreover, turrets will now see through and shoot through twig as if it wasn't there, but will also damage it. Basically, they're more important than ever now. The health of low walls was reduced by 50% too, and wall sockets were added to the top and bottom ends of foundation steps, making them less useful in blocking the construction of raid towers. These are just the first steps in an effort to rebalance building and raiding, and to quote help from the dev blog, over the course of the month, I want to think about what we can do to open up more options and allow for more creativity in base design. We're currently talking about the possibility of half-height snapping of foundations and half-height walls. Now, a lot of you have asked what's my opinion on these changes. I'm hearing a lot of different things from all angles at the moment as the player base digests the news. I've seen a couple of exploits too. To be honest, I'm going to withhold full judgment until I've seen how the community uses or indeed abuses them over the course of this wipe. I can definitely see a big shift in base design happening in response to these new changes, as people are going to be raided a lot sooner. Not necessarily a bad thing, but they may turn out to be way too over the top, if you'll pardon the pun, and cause people to leave servers sooner too. What I do hope for as we go forward though, as well as balancing in response, is the introduction of newer and more devious ways of building and protecting our bases, especially in the way of traps, but only time will tell. Watch this space and I'll keep you informed. If that wasn't enough of a shift in core game mechanic, then how about the second big change this month? Scrap. Destroying a barrel or looting a box will now give you a small amount of a new resource, scrap. Think of it as a currency directly related to the amount of looting you do. But what's it for? Well, putting scrap into the research bench, for it is now once again craftable, will enable you to actually make your own components. Each piece of scrap you put in will increase the likelihood of crafting the desired component and will be consumed whether or not you're successful. And each type of component has a different amount of scrap required to reach a 100% probability of success. You have to have one of the components you want to craft already, mind you, but the system also works in reverse, as recycling components will not only give you raw materials now, but also 10% of their value back in scrap. The hope is that scrap will not only enable you to get the parts you need with enough effort, but also potentially become a currency in its own right. There's no doubt going to be a ton of balancing to this system, but tell me what you think, please. The new AI continues to be refined. Hopefully animals shouldn't get stuck in one place any longer, and they have some interesting new behaviour patterns now. The direction they flee in will depend on the angle you're coming at them from, and they'll also evaluate dangers if threats are coming from more than one direction. In addition, the invisible animal bug should now be fixed too. In other changes this patch, a new high-performance workshop skin caching system was introduced to reduce the overhead and subsequent stuttering caused when they load in. A recycler was added to both harbours and a research bench to the satellite dish monument, and as well as cost reductions to the bandana, cap, balaclava, boonie and burlap head wrap, the snow jacket is now both cheaper and offers more protection. Over to works in progress, and although the rocket site wasn't ready for launch in this update, it's halfway there, with most of the work remaining to be done on the factory and office building interiors. The new mailbox concept that I showed you a few weeks ago has made it to the modelling stage and is now a standalone item instead of a door attachment. Hopefully this will be in game soon. The road sign armour rework is doing well too. Here's the current progress compared to the old version. And lastly, does the fact that you only get to see weapon skins from one angle in first first person upset you? Well, some new admire animations are being worked on to ensure the artist's work is appreciated up close every now and again. Thank you for watching, and as I say, please let me know your thoughts on this week's big update. There are many portals that lead to my online domain, such as Twitch, Twitter, Facebook and Steam, so do be sure to follow me there too, and I shall catch you all soon. In the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio.